Rocky D. Santos, known as the second Mighty Morphin Red Ranger and also Zeo Ranger 3 Blue. For several years, Rocky has been kind of a joke in the Power Rangers fandom. Either fans don't like him or they don't care about him. But recently, Rocky has been going through a renaissance, starting with the comics and more recently in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. But before we talk about the revival of Rocky, we need to go back to the beginning. So, Rocky along with Adam and Aisha were brought in as replacements for Jason, Trini and Zach. If you don't know the story of this point, I'll sum it up really quickly. It's kind of a well-known story within the Power Rangers fandom or Power Rangers sphere, but there was a money issue behind the scenes because the actors felt like they weren't being paid enough for being on a hit success show like Power Rangers. So Austin St. John, Twee Trang, and Walter Jones demanded more money, and when Saban didn't meet their demands, well, they stopped showing up to work and stopped appearing on set, which led to them eventually getting replaced. And Rocky was a very, very different character compared to Jason. While Jason was this serious leader that could kick ass and take names, Rocky was this goofy guy that just wanted to have fun. And the focused episodes he got weren't always the best and didn't really flesh out his character or give him any development. So he was kind of lacking a lot of personality in that department, and Rocky was just simply there. It wasn't until Zeo where Rocky got the shine when he became the Blue Ranger. And Rocky had some great moments in Zeo. One of them that comes to mind is when Rocky felt replaced when Jason returned, and he felt like that he had to prove himself. So what he did was he tried taking on King Mondo alone, but it didn't work out so well for him. But in the end, Jason had a talk with Rocky and said that he's just as important as everyone else on the team and he's not getting replaced. So that was a nice little moment that the two characters had. And then we get to Turbo. So around this time, Rocky's actor Steve Cardenas wanted to leave the franchise. So how did they do it? An amazing focus episode that gives it an emotional departure? Nope, he does a spin kick so bad that he flies out of the ring and breaks his back. And I feel like this is where Rocky's problem lies, where everyone goofs on him because he's replaced by Justin, a child. He crippled himself and got replaced by a child. And after this moment, we wouldn't see Rocky for the longest time. He was supposed to show up in Forever Red, but he was going to be Tommy's butler, and I feel like if they did that, that would have been adding more embarrassment onto the character, where they wouldn't give him a chance to shine at being a ranger, they just make him Tommy's butler. And I get it, there wasn't enough Red Ranger suits to go around so he'd have a funny little scene, but I feel like if they did that to Rocky and that scene actually made it into the episode, then that would have probably done more damage to the character. So, for the longest time, Rocky would be missing in action. He would later return in Super Ninja Steel for the 25th anniversary special Dimensions in Danger. And although Rocky didn't do a whole lot in that special, it was still cool to see him back and return once again. Okay, now we've done the Rocky recap. Hopefully you guys are still watching the video. So, where does the Rocky redemption come in? Well, it all starts in the comics. So, Rocky and the gang are introduced in issue 40 of MMPR, and at the start of this story arc, they're fairly new to the Ranger game and still learning the ropes, but eventually, they're thrown into several situations where they face a threat that isn't your typical monster of the week, and they start to question, are they even needed or not? Because they can be so replaceable if there are other Rangers out there that can do the job better than them, and they start to wonder, why were they chosen and are they a hindrance to this team? Eventually, they all get pep talks from their predecessors, and Rocky's talk with Jason gives him the inspiration that he needs. So, Rocky feels like because he's a Red Ranger, he doesn't feel like he's a leader or leader worthy. But Jason says, just because you're red doesn't always make you a leader, or doesn't mean you're going to have leader expectations, and thanks him for putting his life on the line every day to protect his friends, families, and this planet. This gives Rocky the motivation to keep moving forward. Speaking of families, we're introduced to Rocky's family, something that the show wanted to introduce but they never got around to doing, but it was in Rocky's sort of character description where it said that he was the oldest of a bunch of siblings. And these siblings we actually see in the comics, and we get to see Rocky put his life on the line to protect his family, but not only that, you see the emotion of how much he cares for his siblings. There's this moment where they're trapped in a dome and they're sort of in a confined space, and Rocky freaks out because a bunch of bottle caps are missing, And the whole reason why he freaks out is because it reminds him of his sister, because he doesn't know if they're safe or not. And he wants to hold on to these bottle caps is because when everything is said and done, he wants to finish building that mural with her that he's been doing for the longest time. But in the comics, we see Rocky juggle his family life, but not only that, also his Ranger life. Later on in the comics, we have a story arc where Rocky stays behind to protect Earth and Zordon, while the Rangers are out finding a new command center. While this happens, a villain known as Aradon invades Earth, and it's up to Rocky and Matt to protect everyone. This is a fierce battle as both Rangers are pushed back, and once again Rocky doubts his skills because he knows that he's no Tommy or Jason, but Matt says he's the rock that keeps everyone together. And with this speech, Rocky is given the Dragon Shield and leaps into battle. He's able to hold his own, but eventually is overpowered, and that's what I like about Rocky in the comics, because he's got a family, he's got friends, but he's willing to put his life on the line to protect them and everyone around him. So Rocky has these comedic moments in the comic where he's usually having a quip or two, but when the situation calls for it, he's a serious guy and is willing to risk his life. So if you haven't read the comics, I highly recommend reading them. I always tell people to read the comics, because if you're not reading the Power Ranger comics, then you're definitely missing out on great Power Rangers content. And the stuff written by Ryan Parrott and Matt Groom is the beginning of where Rocky's road to redemption started. And now we're almost at the end. Once and always. This was the 30th anniversary special that saw the return of Rocky once again, and it was great seeing him again. I remember seeing a lot of online comments on social media where people were confused about why they brought Rocky back. Well, if you know, you know, and I'll leave it at that. And here in this special, we see a much older Rocky, but not only that, he's a firefighter. A lot of fans, including myself, speculated that he might be working under Carter Grayson from Lightspeed Rescue, but nothing's confirmed yet. It's all fan speculation, but I'm holding on to that theory that Rocky is working under Carter Grayson. So in this special, we get to see Rocky kick ass. He had some great fight scenes in this special, and they even take a light jab at him about his infamous spin kick.
Nice rotation on that kick. You still got it. I never lost it.
But the Rocky scenes were amazing. Not only that is he still good with the zinger and jokes, but in the fight scenes, he's able to hold his own against Putty still. Not only that, he gets the finishing blow on the Minotaur, which was freaking amazing and something I didn't see coming. So in Once and Always, they gave Rocky some great moments and put him in a better light, I reckon. And that's what I like about Rocky in Once and Always. Yeah, he had his one-liners and his zingers, but he was still taken very seriously and they didn't make him look like a goofball, which was great to see. And that pretty much sums up the redemption of Rocky. I know he's not everyone's favourite Ranger, but I feel like in the more recent forms of Power Rangers media, they've been able to flesh him out more and give him more depth. And I feel like we're going to see more of that in the comics as it's still ongoing as of the time of recording this video. But what do you guys think of Rocky? Do you feel like Rocky's road to redemption is earned, or do you think he's still got a long way to go, or do you just not care? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. And also, don't forget to leave a like on this video, share it around on social media, and leave a comment down below like I usually say. And with that said, I'm going to bring this video to a close, so I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, and bye.